Hello guys. When I was around 12 to 13 years old, I was addicted to video games. I used to play strategy games, MMORPG, online, RuneScape, Age of Empires, StarCraft, and those of the sort. Spent around a whole year playing, and I would spend 5 hours a day playing those games. I was a really skinny guy, and I started gaining weight that time. And then after that, soon after, my parents were praying for me, about me, to realize what I'm doing and how this is so stupid. So a little later I realized, and I started working out instead. That was my substitute. And so working out became my idol. I would work out 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, every single day. I would train all my body parts. I didn't care if I was sore. This was my substitute. This is where I found my getting high, this was something I was dragged to. Naturally, taking one rest day a week, and even that one rest day, I would want to do something. I couldn't sit there. I had that desire within me. Then after that, after I realized where I was going with all this working out, I still continued. I did begin to realize the same way I realized with games, how it's not the most important thing in the world. I began to realize working out is not the most important thing in the world. And around middle school, 7th, probably started with 6th, yes, 7th grade, I started having problems with lust. Lust is sexual desire for girls, I was never gay, of course, but that's what was going on. And that was up until recently, probably a year or two ago. Why I'm telling you all this? Me having lust for a girl or for someone of the opposite gender is probably what you guys experience towards the same gender, and I totally understand that. It is an uncontrollable inner desire. I've spoken with a lot of homosexuals and gay people before, and I know what they experience. However, I see my lust or sex before marriage and stuff like that just as much of a sin as gay guys or homosexuals showing their lust and their desire for other guys, if you understand what I mean. Now you're gonna say, well, it's a natural drive. Why would God create us this way? Why in the world would I have desire for another guy, and why in the world would I be dragged to do it the same way? I can ask myself and say, why am I having lust towards girls? Why can't I just have a good, clean relationship without having all these thoughts running through my head? And I would totally agree with you. Why would that happen? But you see, things changed recently. A few years ago, when I fully gave my life over to God and I asked Him to free me of all these things, and He did. He did, and I stopped having lust for girls, that sexual drive that I couldn't control in my head, and thoughts like that, and it hasn't entered my mind for quite a long time now, and it doesn't even cross my mind. Now, you're saying it's different for us homosexuals and for us gay people because you have no idea what we experience. Let me tell you 2 stories. There are 2 people I met over YouTube, both of which changed my mind a lot on homosexuality. Both of them were homosexual and were gay. One of the guys lives in the United States, the other one lives in Canada. The one who lives in the United States, he did not want to come to God, he did not want to believe in God. He grew up in a semi-Christian family, and knowing that he had those inner desires, he was going through depression states, probably what most of gay people go through right now, and he didn't understand why this was happening. And so after various trials of trying to suppress those feelings, he finally stood on his knees and said, God, if you exist, in Jesus' name I ask you, take these things away from me, and take this desire away from me. And so right now he was freed of that lust towards guys, freed of that desire towards them, and right now he has a drive for girls just like any other guy does. And he's a Christian now, and he has a girlfriend. And he says he sincerely, I spoke with him, I'm not going to name any names or location or anything like that because I was asked not to. He genuinely has experienced God in his life, and this was something that changed him altogether. Now I'll tell you about a second guy. This guy was in a much more depressed state. He's from Canada. he wanted to commit suicide, and on that night when he wanted to commit suicide, he sent me a message on Gmail. It was a chat message. So I began to speak with him. I'm also not going to name any names, but he said, "Paul, I want to suicide. I had sex with a man." And this was a, imagine someone texting you and saying, "I want to suicide because I had sex with a man and I feel guilty on the inside. I feel this emptiness and I have no idea what's going on." And so I told him the same stuff I told you, how I struggled with lust and how God freed me. And I told him God can free you of homosexuality and He can free you of these desires towards men. All you have to do is ask it for forgiveness and give yourself over to Him. And I genuinely said that, and he listened me. He heard me out. He took heed to my words, if you want to be old English. And basically, we prayed with him that night. And after that night, he, to this day, has genuinely not had any feelings towards men. Before, he used to be attracted to muscular bodies and so on. Right now, he has no feelings towards men. He has lost that desire. He now attends a Christian church, and he has been changed altogether as a person. So God freed him of that sin, also the same way He freed me of lust towards girls. And whoever you are, whether you're homosexual or if you're straight, I just wanted to know you that God does miracles. God does exist, and He can change your life and your desires if you understand what He's done for you on the cross and why He came into this world, which is to free people of sins, which is to give them a new life. And here are just three stories, including my own, of how God freed me and these other men, and how they started living a Christian life and a life free of the chains and the bonds of sin which they couldn't control. So this is me going out to all you guys. I have a big gay base of fans or followers here on YouTube and on Facebook. So I get to encounter these kind of people a lot, and I view you no more of sinners than I do everyone else who is struggling with lust towards girls and stuff like that, so, or towards video games or something else, because all people are sinners. But what I'm here to tell you is that Jesus Christ is able to free you, and I have a big Muslim base too, and you guys are going to disagree with me, but I'm talking to you from personal experience and from experience of those others who have given themselves over to God and who have changed. And before, it was a natural drive, just like for most of you guys watching my video, you have that natural drive, and it's not like they're suppressing it anymore. It's gone altogether. So may God bless you to find the true path and know that He still loves you just as much as He loved me. It says, for God's love is known through that He loved us while we were yet sinners. While we were yet in our trespasses, while we rebelled against God with our own actions and nature, He still loved us. And He loves all of you, and He can free you of those things. So that's my video for today. I just thought this was an important question to address because many people misunderstand what the Bible talks about homosexuality or sin. And I just wanted to give you a new perspective on what God does see all those things in sin. They are punishable with hell, but He also loves you so much, He gives you a way out, a genuine free gift of freedom from all these things. Alright, later guys, my next video is going to be a hand press tutorial. That seems to have gotten the most likes in my previous video, so I'll see you then. God bless. Bye bye.